Why not get in contact with Livy?
I did. I was. That's how I got my job in the US.
Oh,
Because my time spent at Livingston Football Club, I got basically. I mean, for anyone that doesn't know, I'll explain this briefly. So, I spent 3 months coaching in the US, coaching football. Best decision I ever made was going out to the US to do this. I went very underqualified, I should add, and very underexperienced. But the reason I got the job was because I decided that I wanted to coach, but I needed to learn the basics. I learned the basics from Livingston Football Club, and then paid out of my own pocket to do my coaching badges. Which, in all honesty, all the coaching badges except for the last one, you need, you don't do an assessment for. You just needed to take part. So the last one I had
I
to do an
didn't actually know that.
assessment. Yeah, and
So, what level of coaching badge do you actually have?
C license. I that well no C license is entirely different. C license you do have an assessment for, but I did that after I came back from the
Yeah.
US. Speaking before the US, I did my 1.3, which was only one I actually had to do an assessment for, and even in the assessment wasn't really pass or fail. It was more like you did it and then they'll give you advice on it. And I mean I did a hard session for it, but it was still one that I still did okay on. And then after that, I then got I was looking on Indeed, just looking for other jobs, and I seen this opportunity to go travel to the US, which I did. I went to the US. I had my interview for this over my Xbox over Skype, which I
You
still
know what?
find.
I fucking respect that.
Yeah, I was sitting in my room, the other room there. I was sitting.
Wait, did you use your Connect?
No, no, no.
Oh,
No, I wasn't that bad. Don't worry. I was sitting on my desk with it. I had the voice call over my TV. Guy switched his camera off and stuff like that. But basically, I just did the interview there. I got the offer the job there and then. I think it was nearly 3 to 4 weeks afterwards. I was on the plane to the US. I had my visa sorted. I had all my travel plans sorted. I got my police check sorted. I got all that done within the 4 weeks. And I was on the plane to the US to basically go coach and live the dream out there. And it was unreal. One of the best things. I say to literally anyone that if you have the opportunity to work abroad and you have that freedom to do so, do so, because it opens your eyes to the whole world to kind of just experience it. It grew me.
experience a different way of living.
It is, and you know what? It grew me up massively. I matured massively when I was over there. I was probably very naive. The scariest thing was I was very underqualified, very underexperienced compared to everyone else that was there. Despite the fact there was people there that were younger than me, a lot of them had more experience in the field of coaching, which I didn't have at the time. But it gave me, it just gave me a lot more life experience, a lot more life tools to use later on, and like I said, it grew me up massively. Because I remember my first session was absolutely awful. Right, it was so bad. It was. I honestly think back to it, I'm embarrassed at how badly it went. And it was even worse than the fact that all the coaches that we were living with were there, and I was just like, I just remembered
Why did
after.
it go bad though?
Right. I'll try and explain it briefly. So basically, I had we were doing a kind of camp kind of thing for kids at the time, and I had, I think it was maybe about 20 kids in this coaching session between the four coaches that we had, and when it came to my turn to run an activity, I was doing a kind of shooting drill because I figured that everyone loves shooting.
Hmm.
But at the time, I had like I said, my experience would have taught me the other way of doing this, but basically, I gave all the kids numbers. I put two kids in net, and basically I just used to shout a number, and they would just go up and shoot. But if your number wasn't called, you were just in this square dribbling. The drill was massively overcomplicated. Kids got bored waiting for the number to be shouted, so they started messing about. Um, and then the kids that were the two that were going in net were getting bored of the fact that the kids that were shooting really poorly. So there wasn't much opportunity for coaching. There was just so many things that went wrong with this that, I mean, the fact that I can tell you everything that went wrong with it now just kind of shows the fact that this was a few years ago and it still sticks heavily in my mind. It was one of the biggest learning experiences I had, and after that, every session I did, I fine tuned and made sure it was simplified and was good. Because one of the worst things you can do in coaching is overcomplicate something, where to the situation that becomes a mess. So it was, yeah, it was that was one of the biggest learning experiences I had over there was that. And listen, after that I became a hell of a lot better coach. And I left with even being invited back, which was unreal. So I definitely take that every day of the week. But listen, I left on the day that Donald Trump got elected, so it tells you the reason why I never went back after I got invited.